Tattoo, he's cool as fuck. Tattoo, he's the juggalo. Tattoo, he is the best. Tattoo, he wants to know how magnets work. Tattoo, he drives so fast. Tattoo, he drives so fast. Tattoo is badass. Tattoo, he races cars. Tattoo, he turns left.
Alright, welcome everyone. This is the first video that I'm doing of the work on the track area. This is the first of hopefully many videos. We plan on doing multiple tracks in the future on the property, but this is the footage that I did for February 15th. There will be many other days of footage in this video, but we're starting off with February 15th. This is just we're starting off with the smaller track, and this will be for everything from bicycles to mini bike, and when we're able to get like either a yard cart or if we're able to get a racing cart. Because there is a local kart track here that has a series that runs the 212cc Predator engine from Harbor Freight, and they seal those, and so I know this track is a bit small for those. We will be building a larger kart oval further down the property, but this is a smaller track that's just going to be built in mind for practicing with like BMX bikes and electric bikes and things like mini bikes and stuff like that, before we end up building a larger dirt oval. But I do have to work on some things like a better drainage system. But we've had some other issues with the property lately, so we're kind of off to a slow start. Sorry for my voice and everything. I'm still recovering from the fire. We did have some wildfire problems you'll see later in this video. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. But I'll show you guys the progress that we made on February 15th, and we'll talk about some of the other stuff later in this video. Okay, so for this portion, this was February 16th. I went out to the area where we're currently working on digging a pond, and since we're digging that by hand, I dug and sifted a bunch of dirt and brought, since we don't have a dump trailer or anything, by hand I dug and sifted through a bunch of dirt, and I believe it was about 16 or 17 wheelbarrow loads of dirt that I brought up from the pond area and dumped onto the surface area of where this small track is going to be. So these pictures here are about either 16 or 17 wheelbarrow loads of dirt that I had dumped and began packing down, and with the riding lawnmower and the spike aerator trailer, and then also raking with the garden rake. Okay, so this shows a look at some of the dirt that we were moving on February 18th. You'll even see a picture in here of the makeshift sifter that I had put together that I have on top of my wheelbarrow. Doing things the good old-fashioned way in the pond area by just sifting the dirt by hand. There is some chunks of grass that are making it through the sifter. Usually I mix up my own homemade weed and grass killer using some vinegar and dish soap diluted with water. Every once in a while I'll spray that on the track surface. I don't do that on any of the days that I plan on running the aerator or the riding mower on the track surface, just because I don't want to get that on the tires or the aerator, um, just so that way I don't track it into grass that I don't want to destroy. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, after this set of pictures and videos is when I had to take like an entire month off. So the track surface, as much as it started to really look better here, the track surface is going to take a rapid decline from this section of pictures and video, which really is unfortunate here because it was starting to actually take shape. Unfortunately, you can see the drainage area in some of these pictures, as well as the previous ones, is looking really, really bad. That is because the previous drainage piping that ran underneath the track was really, really cheap and had collapsed, as well as wild dogs in the area had dug up some of it and ripped some of it because it was really, really cheap, thin stuff that we had gotten from Home Depot. That was the stuff that you normally get that comes uh, like uh, kind of like folded up, and it kind of like extends, and we're going to get actual an actual like 100-foot roll of corrugated pipe. That way we can use that and cut it to the lengths that we need uh, for this small track, plus the larger track that we plan on building further down the property. That way we can have stronger pipe for both projects. All right, fast forward to now. It is these pictures were taken on March 15th. Um, this is several weeks after the fire. Grass had grown back. The fire was stopped before it actually gotten to this little part where we're building this little track. The fire had started well away from where this track is being built. It was a wildfire that had consumed a good portion of our pasture, but due to smoke inhalation and due to construction around our property and stuff like that, there was so much going on. And due to my issues with my epilepsy, there was just so much going on that we were not working on this project for so long that the month off that we had taken, that grass started growing back on the track surface. So we're kind of back to square one. As you can see, the dirt is not as bare dirt as it was prior, so we're kind of fighting back the grass growth on the actual track surface. So we're kind of back to square one where we were towards the beginning of this video. So this was a day where all I did is I got out there and I sprayed a diluted mixture of vinegar, water, and a little bit of dish soap. On March 19th, I didn't get a lot of work done out there either. I moved a couple of wheelbarrow loads of dirt and I put them on the straightaways to help level some of the low spots on the straightaways. I know there's still a lot of definitely some low-lying areas on the straightaways because of the way the property slopes. So I know I have to move a lot more dirt, but there was a few like low spots that made you kind of rock side to side as you were going up and down the straightaways, and I kind of leveled out some of the side to side rocking motion that you get. Um, so that's what this day was about. All right, starting off the beginning of April, we had severe thunderstorms, so that made it so getting around the track with the aerator was nice and easy. Was able to poke holes in the ground, get the uh, get well. I mean, it was already soft, but getting holes poked in the ground, and making it even like getting it like a little bit tilled up and getting it even softer was not hard. Helping kind of tear up the grass at least a little bit was not hard either. Packing it in was not hard. And I basically just drove around with the riding mower, and I did a little bit of raking as well. But I drove around with the riding mower with a couple of concrete like cinder blocks on the spike aerator trailer, and just drove around with it until I worked the moisture out of it, and let that little aerator trailer just continue to poke holes in it, and um, uh, I mean, I know it's not really operating like it's not a plow. It's obviously not like a tiller or anything, but I was just letting it continue to poke holes in the dirt and disturb the dirt, the little that it does, and with the cinder blocks on it for the extra weight that it gives, it it was packing the dirt enough to where I just continued to drive around with the riding mower with that little spike aerator attached with the weight on it until it worked enough moisture out of the ground for it to start drying out enough to where the ground got hard. Since we have a lot of clay in our ground, once the track surface dried and then got packed hard due to me running enough laps on it, um, I called it quits for the day. So I was out there for a good half hour to 45 minutes, just doing lap after lap after lap on the riding mower with the spike aerator attached, and we also are planning on getting a few more implements for the riding mower. We will have a drag to attach to it soon. For anybody that's wondering, um, it's just right now we are very limited with our tools. So we're doing what we can with what we have. Not really actually a whole lot special here to show on the 2nd of April. Just drove more laps on the track for about another 30 minutes. Not exactly the great thing to talk about at the end of the video, but on the final day of this video, I didn't really do much. This is the 3rd of April, and the reason why I didn't do much is because I was pretty sore on this day. Um, I had more than one fall this week relating to my epilepsy and seizure related issues. There was one fall due to how wet everything was out there in the back pasture. Because of the storms, I slipped in some muddy conditions and rolled my ankle and fell and hit my knee off the ground pretty good. So I am pretty sore. Taking a few days off from work out there. Sorry about that, yawn. I'm tired. Uh, Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Um, I'm not so great at this editing stuff. Normally, I do a lot of live streaming racing simulator related content. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this. I'm going to continue working on this project as time allows, and thank you guys just so much for taking the time to watch this. And um, I'm just going to do the best that I can to keep on working on it, and I am keeping tabs on my local market for carts and mini bikes and stuff of that nature. I also am looking at prices and stuff like that. Um, I we are I am having to do some maintenance on the mower and stuff like that, and I'm having to do some work on the property. We do have some damage to the fencing and stuff like that. But we've got multiple projects that we're working on. But I'm keeping tabs on the local market. Mostly, pretty much a go-kart or a mini bike, and just taking things day by day. We're working on this smaller track right now. I do know that we're going to get a few attachments for the mower at some point here, and I'm going to have to do some service on the mower. And other than that, once I put in, I'm gonna put in some I'm either gonna go with 4 or 6 inch corrugated culvert pipe for the drainage on the tracks. We're gonna go with those. We're gonna finish the smaller track first. I'm going to probably cut it into long enough pieces so I can widen the straightaways on this small track to about probably uh, roughly 10 to 12 feet. Um, that'll definitely be wide enough for BMX and mini bike, uh, like ripping around this small little track on like BMX and mini bikes. We're definitely gonna cut larger sections for the larger kart track that we're gonna build. But yeah, please continue to follow the channel, and I'd like to see if anybody has any input. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I'm sorry if I sound kind of down, guys. I'm really tired and sore, and this project has been rough. And then with everything else, with the wildfires that have been in our area, we had the fire in the pasture, and then several weeks after that, there was multiple wildfires outside of town. Um, it's been a rough year, and then we just entered tornado season. So it's just been one of those things. And we finally just now got our property cleaned up after last year's tornado season. So it's just, yeah, I don't know, lately it's just seemed like one thing after another, and we're still trying to get on top of my problem with the seizures. But thank you so much. I love you guys, and hope to see you guys in the next video.
Tattoo, he's cool as fuck. Tattoo, he's the juggalo.